Oh, yeah. Bring on Ben Johnson for the home opener.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, what's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you on an NFL schedule release Wednesday, May 14th and a Thursday, May 15th. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking out Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers that are out there that watch the podcast on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel or listen. Maybe you're on Spotify, maybe you're on Apple, wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate all of you for being with us. It's a big night tonight as the 2025 Lions schedule is out. 12 of the 16 scheduled games, because week 18 against the Bears, touchdown Bears, is unscheduled right now. It's just could be Saturday, could be Sunday night. We just know it's at the end of the year. Week 18. But 12 of the 16 games that have game times are national TV games. Incredible. 5 in primetime. Locked On Lions today brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. If you want to be our call of the day tomorrow, please send in a voicemail at speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. That is speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. I am so fired up. I am so excited to go over the 2025 schedule with you. So many primetime games to talk about. I want to get into some week 1 history at Green Bay, which is not good when the Lions have opened up at Lambeau Field. 2 games that my crack research staff reminded me of. I think it was 98 and 2001. We will reminisce about those. But let's start off with, the master of the obvious here, and that is number one. Well, first of all, we have 4 months now to walk ourselves up to Peter Bukowski. 4 months of Peter Bukowski talk, because the host of Locked On Packers is already ticking people off on social media. We have 4 months of Peter hype. Lions will open up at Green Bay, Lambeau Field, 4:25 on CBS, nonetheless. Not even a Tom Brady game. This will be a Jim Nantz, Tony Romo game. Lions and Packers to open the season Sunday, September 7th at 4:25. It is the national TV game. So that's exciting. Schedule's brutal. Schedule is murderous. There's a stretch in here where the Lions have to go back-to-back Washington and Philly. They play 3 of their last 4 on the road, at the Rams, at the Vikings. On Christmas Day, they're playing on Christmas Day. They're playing on Thanksgiving Day. And then, of course, at the Bears, which could be, first weekend in January, could be Saturday, could be Sunday, could be all sorts of things. But the Lions got 5 night games. Monday Night Football against Baltimore, week 3. Sunday Night Football, week 6 at Kansas City. Monday Night Football, week 7 at home against Tampa Bay. That will be the 7:00 game, as there will be 2 Monday night games that evening. Sunday Night Football at Philly, week 11. Thursday night Amazon Prime game after Thanksgiving versus Dallas, just like they did last year. 5 night games for this team. Joe Buck wasn't kidding the other day on Good Morning America when he said that these networks all want the Lions. The Lions are playing on Netflix. The Lions are playing on Amazon. The Lions are playing on NBC at night, ABC at night, Fox in primetime in that 4:25 window, CBS in primetime in the 4:25 window. This is a wanted team. They want eyeballs on Detroit, and that is pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable. But, all right, quickly, just, my thoughts are it's hard. It's going to be very difficult. I hate opening the season with back-to-back division games, but let's just go through them very quickly, because that's what you guys want. Like I said, Sunday, September 7th, they open the season at Green Bay, 4:25 on CBS. One of their 4 normal 1:00 games comes in week 2 when Benedict Johnson, that's right, Ben Johnson comes to town as the Bears battle the Lions in the home opener. And I put a little video out on social media. I absolutely love. This is my favorite. Home opener, the place is raucous. It's loud. People have been dying to get inside Ford Field for almost, 8 or 9 months to see their football team to get jacked up, juiced up, whatever you want to say, excited. And they're going to be playing. They're going to have Ben Johnson on the other sideline. Lions and Bears. I'm very excited about that matchup. Do I like that they're opening the season with 2 division games? No. And what I really don't like is after you got Green Bay and Chicago, 2 rivalry games, you then have to go to Baltimore and play Lamar Jackson and the Ravens Monday Night Football in week 3, 8:15, ESPN and ABC. Short work week for the Lions that week. They come home and they face the Browns, 1 o'clock on Fox. I don't get how they're doing the Fox CBS thing anymore, but whatever. Lions and Browns to wrap up September and the first quarter of the season, little Jim Caldwell bit. Lions and Browns, week 4, September the 28th. That is the second 1 o'clock game that the Lions will play out of the 4. The next week after that, the Lions will play at Cincinnati against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. 4:25, the national game on Fox. Lions and Bengals getting some primetime love in the late Sunday window. Then week 6, like we talked about, another road game. This time, Lions at Kansas City to face the defending AFC champs. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, and the Kansas City Chiefs. How about them Chiefs? Sunday night, 8:20, NBC, October the 12th. Lions then get an extra day of rest as they will play Monday night the next week against Tampa Bay at Ford Field in week 7. A little rematch from the last couple of years. Lions have played the Bucs a ton. Twice 2 years ago, once last year. Of course, the Bucs came into Ford Field and beat the Lions. Now they'll play Tampa Bay in a Monday night doubleheader. There'll be the 7 o'clock game, Monday night, October the 20th. What I also love about this schedule, ladies and gentlemen, this is not like last year. The Lions bye week comes right in the middle of the year. Week 8, after playing Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay back to back to back, week 8 bye. Love that. Lions come back out of the bye Sunday, November 2nd. Week 9, they will face J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings, 1 o'clock on Fox. That is the third 1 o'clock game the Lions will be playing. What's, I guess, good about the home schedule, at least for you guys and the fans, is that there's all the 1 o'clock games are all at Ford Field. But there's only 4 of them. All right, after playing Minnesota, the Lions will go to Washington for a rematch with the Commandos on November 9th, week 10, 4:25 on the Fox network. Lions and Commanders. Then the next week, Lions play Sunday night at Philly against the Eagles. That is Sunday, November the 16th. A little bit of a short week with the Giants coming to town before Thanksgiving, a 1 o'clock game facing Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Mike Valenti's New York Football Giants on Sunday, November the 23rd at 1 o'clock. That will wrap up the Lions 1 o'clock, normal 1 o'clock Sunday games. I didn't include the Thanksgiving Day game, which now no longer is at 12:30. It's at 1. Technically, that's another 1 o'clock game, but it's a national game. Short week, Thanksgiving. The Green Bay Packers come to town. So the Lions play the Pack in week 1. Then they play them again in week 13. I don't know about you, but I was rooting for the Steelers for Thanksgiving because I'd like to see something new. It seems like every Thanksgiving now we're seeing a division game. So that wraps up the month of November for the Lions. We're going to give you the December schedule, which is a bit of a gauntlet. I'm using the word gauntlet. 5 December games we will tell you about, and we will do that coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. It is schedule release Wednesday night. I know this schedule's tough. I know it's a gauntlet. Bring it on. This football team went undefeated on the road last year, won 15 games. Stop all you scaredy cat. Oh, the schedule's so hard. It is hard. It sucks. It's difficult. Go play the games. Lions have a good team. You know, the Lions won again And Locked On Lions for tonight is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Yes, you know we love the FanDuel, and the NBA playoffs are going on right now in full swing. Every night, you get highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. How about my Indiana Pacers? I've been telling you on this show. Pacers are going to the finals, baby. Pacers Knicks is going to be off the chain. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game, though, before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments, right? Last night, Jokic, his numbers were off the charts for the Nuggets. If you had some of the player props with Nikola Jokic, you were in great shape. How about tracking the trends to help you build on your next bet? You can do it at FanDuel. And how about a $200 bonus in bets added to the excitement if that first $5 bet wins? Are you new to FanDuel? It's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. We are going over the 2025 Detroit Lions schedule right here on Locked On Lions. Thanks for making us your first listen, everybody. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. We went through the first 3 months of the season. We got 5 games to go after Thanksgiving. The Lions, just like last year, same spiel, will play a Thursday night home game after Thanksgiving. So they'll have a full week after Thanksgiving to then face the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, Dak Prescott and company, Jera, coming to Ford Field, Amazon Prime, 8:15. The asleep Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit for Lions and Cowboys. Primetime, 8:15 Thursday Night Football. Lions get a longer week then, a few days off. They'll then head to Los Angeles to face the Stafford family, Kelly and Matthew, Lions and Rams, December 14th. Also, primetime game, 4:25 p.m. Fox, the Fox game of the week, Lions and Rams, Jared Goff's return to LA again. That will be week 15. Week 16, Lions will host the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here we go, Steelers. Lions and Steelers, 4:25 CBS. Here's what's interesting about that game. That's a primetime game. That's a Lions-Steeler game. That could be flexed out of that spot. It's possible. And maybe move to 1 o'clock, and I'll tell you why. Pittsburgh, if they don't get Aaron Rodgers and they're playing Mason Rudolph or Will Howard at quarterback, that could be maybe one of the easier games on the schedule, because Pittsburgh, some feel, if they don't get Rodgers, and that could be a team that's in some trouble. And I know every year they go 9-8. Every year Mike Tomlin has them with a winning record, great coach, everything else. But keep an eye on that game, Lions and Steelers, late in the year. Week 17, second to last game of the year, the Lions will go to Minnesota to face the Vikings on a short work week on Christmas Day. I don't like it either, all right? And to me, Christmas Day is NBA. The NBA has their 6 games on Christmas. The NFL has come in and said, watch this, because the NFL takes over everything. The NFL is going to have games on the Saturday of the in January. Or no, I think it's Saturday, December 27th. They're going to have games going up against college football playoff, because the NFL doesn't care. They know they're king, and they know they're getting ratings, and they don't care about other sports. But the Lions playing the Vikings, 4:30 on Netflix. It will be shown. Don't you worry, everybody here in Metro Detroit. Southeast Michigan will be shown locally somewhere, probably Fox 2 or something. But for those of you that watch and listen to the podcast out of state, you're going to have to go over to a buddy's house or something and watch on Netflix if you don't have Netflix, or get Netflix. Lions on Christmas Day against Minnesota at 4:30. And then, as I mentioned before, week 18, the Lions will be in Chicago to face the Bears. That could be a Saturday game. That could be a Sunday game. It's going to be freezing. I'll say that. Lions aren't really going to be playing that many cold games. Washington and Philly in November 9th and 16th. Will that be freezing? I don't know. But playing in early January, that will be cold. Lions and Bears, week 18. We don't know the start time yet. We just know that could be a Saturday game or a Sunday game for the final game of the season. And there's a lot of people that think that the Chicago Bears are going to push the Lions for the division. Well, if they are, and if that's the case, then that game will have a tremendous amount of meaning. But a few other highlights. I mean, playing 3 games out of 4 on the road twice. Once in September and October when they got to go at Baltimore, then a respite with Cleveland, but then at KC and at Cincinnati and Kansas City, not going to be easy. Then their other 3 out of 4 on the road stretch is at the end of the year. We talked about it. At the Rams, Pittsburgh in between, at Minnesota, at Chicago. Very, very difficult mine to try to walk through, but the Lions can do it. All right. Green Bay's got to play the AFC North too. The Bears have to play the Ravens and the Bengals and the Steelers too. All right. But I don't know. That's just a few things that stand out for me on the schedule. Like I said, I love facing Green Bay early, not having to go to Lambeau in the cold. I'm excited about that. Let's see if Jordan Love is taking that next step. Let's see if this great wide receiver core and all these rookies that the Packers have are ready to roll. A little concerned going into that game that Lee McNeil won't be there, and we'll test out and see how Aiden Hutchinson is against Jordan Love, etc. But look, the Lions the last couple of years have gone into Lambeau and they have pimp slapped the Packers. Last year, of course, the Kirby Joseph pick 6 a couple of years ago when they beat Aaron Rodgers. I love the way the Lions have been playing the last really 3 years at Lambeau. So let's see if that trend continues this year. But that's the week 1 showdown. Man, I mean, there's just so many games to talk about on this schedule. So many. I want to give a shout out to the organization, and that includes Sheila Ford Hamp. That does include Mr. 222 himself, Rod Wood, and everybody in the front office. All right. I want you to take a step back as you look at the schedule and think about where this organization was 5 years ago when we would sit on this very podcast, and I've been doing Locked On Lions since 2016, and we would beg for a primetime game. Can't the Lions get a Monday night game? Can't the Lions get a Sunday night game? There were years that the Lions would only play in prime time once, and that was Thanksgiving. And that was their piece of meat. That was the little snack for the fans. No Monday nights, no Sunday. This team's playing 12 of their 16 scheduled games. It could be 13 out of 17 if that Bears game goes to a flex 425 or a prime time. 12 of the 16 that we know the times for are all nationally televised games. Like if you're a Lions fan that gets the, maybe you live out of the market and you get Sunday ticket, you might not have to get it this year because every game you're going to get to see. CBS 425 window opening week. The Bengal game, the Washington game. I mean, there's so many of these games. The Lions are playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're playing 6 4:30 or 4:25, 4:30 games and 4 1:00 games. What a job by this franchise. And I get on this franchise when they deserve to be chastised and picked on. But this organization and what they've built to be in a place where Dallas and Kansas City and Detroit are the teams getting the most shine on TV and getting the most night games is a testament to this franchise. People want to see the Lions, and the networks were fighting like kids in a sandbox, like just slapping at each other like Dirks and Benetti in the booth. Okay, fighting. Slapping each other like little kids to get primetime games, to get their Netflix wants the Lions, Amazon wants the Lions, NBC wants the Lions. It's awesome. What a job by this franchise to be in a position where they've become an elite team. Now, here's what we need to do. Lions need to get to the Super Bowl. Lions need to take the next step. This cannot be another one and done year in the playoffs. This cannot be no. I know that how many defensive injuries they had last year. This team won 15 games. I'm not taking it away from them. But this team can take the next step this year, and it's time to do it, regardless of the schedule. And look, maybe the Lions don't win the division. Maybe the schedule is too difficult and they end up 11-6 or something. But they get into the playoffs and they make some noise. That's all you guys care about, is making noise and winning games in January. All right. I got some memories. The Lions opening up in Green Bay brings back some interesting memories from the last 2 times that Detroit has opened up in Green Bay. We will tell you about that next, right here on Locked on Lions. All right. So Crack research staff was hard at work here to help me with the last time the Lions and the Packers opened up the season at Lambeau Field in week 1. And my staff has been all over this, and they know who they are. And some of them on this staff attended one of these games. But in 1998 and 2001, the then sad sack Lions played the Packers in week 1. In 1998, the Lions lost to Green Bay, but they had a 4th and short second half at their own 45-yard line, and then head coach, the boss, Bobby Ross, decided to go for it. Quarterback sneak with his then starting quarterback, Scott Mitchell. I'm not going to go in on Scott. I liked Scott when he was here. He and I got along. Most of the fans turned on him, but whatever. Scott fumbled the ball. Leroy Butler picked it up and returned it for a touchdown. And the Lions lost that game in 1998. They could have handed the ball to Barry Sanders. They could have handed the ball to touchdown Tommy Vardell. Of course, that next week, Scott Mitchell throws the pick 6 in overtime against the Bengals. He gets booed. He gets benched. Charlie Batch took over, and that was the end, basically, of the Bobby Ross era. Fast forward to 2001. The Lions under the M&M regime. That's right. Matt Millen and Marty Mornhinweg took their charges into Lambeau Field to take on Green Bay in 2001. Charlie Batch made the start, was terrible, and the Lions lost that game. But what happened after the game was the most interesting, because if you recall, the Lions had a young quarterback named Mike McMahon that they drafted in the late rounds, and they pull Charlie Batch after one game and decide to go with Ty Detmer the next week. Do you remember this? This is memories that are chilling here. So they don't go with McMahon yet, even though they're thinking about it. Morningweg and Millen decide to try Ty Detmer in week 2 in Cleveland against the Browns. Detmer proceeds to throw not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 interceptions. And the Lions lost 24-14. Those were the last 2 times in the last 2 seasons that the Detroit Lions opened up their campaign at Lambeau Field. Great stuff from my crack research staff on memories of the Lions in Green Bay. Now, look, what do we care about? We care about the last 3 years Detroit has played Green Bay, and the Lions have pounded the Packers, especially the last 2 years with the ground game. Whether it's been rainy weather like this year or 2 years ago when Montgomery stomped all over them, the Lions have had good success in Green Bay against the Packers. I'm not ready to go game by game and give you a record yet. I still want to see this roster filled out. I still want to see if Zadarius Smith is signed or what the Lions end up doing. But this is not going to be an easy schedule by any stretch of the imagination. But I am excited about all the primetime games. And, it's interesting. Green Bay and Chicago weeks 1 and 2, and then they don't face them until weeks 13 and week 18. Yet they get Minnesota November 2nd, and then Minnesota again December 25th. So it's a little bit scattered when it comes to the division games. As far as the road games, as I said before, and I can't recall ever seeing this before, the Lions will not play a single road game at the normal Sunday 1 o'clock time. Every road game is a national game. Every single one. Every single one. The Lions were road warriors last year. They went, they were perfect. 8-0 on the road last year. And this year they're playing what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 road games this year. And they're all in prime time, except the Bears game. But you have a feeling that could end up being a 4:25 game. Or if it's for the division, just like it was this year with the Lions and Vikings, Lions and Bears could be Sunday night prime time again. But that's incredible. Not a single road 1 o'clock game as of right now. We will have much more on the schedule tomorrow. Going to break some more things down. I mean, this was just first reaction, excitement. Here's the games. Here's the listings of the games. I can put up a graphic if you want for some of you crazies out there. Just so you can see it if you're watching on YouTube. Let me do this. Let me do this. There's the schedule for you right there on the screen for those of you watching on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Exciting. I'm happy we're going to know when the games are for many of you that are booking trips and trying to figure out where you're going to be going and stuff like that. Christmas Day, I always travel to a place down south. We're going to have to leave a little bit early so I can get to my destination in time for the 3:30 Central Lions and Vikings Netflix game that day. So, all right, everybody, we're back again tomorrow with more on this schedule. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Call of the day tomorrow, too. You guys call in, speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page with your thoughts on the schedule. We'll play the best call tomorrow.